Welcome back. So, breaking news, markets are soaring right now. US markets really green, skyrocketing, and so is Bitcoin and crypto, and you may be wondering why. Well, we have some breaking news about tariffs. That's right. Only 13 hours after the tariffs got put into place, now they're being put on pause. That's right. And according to Scott Bessent, he says this was done on purpose. This was according to plan. Is that the truth? Or maybe, maybe not. But regardless, let me tell you what has happened. Everything has been put on pause except for one country, and has been made worse for that one country. Let me give you guys the latest. So, very different than this morning. I streamed this morning. Everything, well, wasn't that red. It was kind of actually mixed, but compared to now, very different. Dow plus 2,300, plus 380 for S&P, plus 1,400 for NASDAQ. You can see everything is in the green, and that's due to this. Many things have been announced now. Okay, first of all, the 10% tariff for all countries have been dropped. That's first and foremost. So, a lot of people didn't like this, how there was a blanket 10% tariff with all countries. Even countries like Singapore that had no tariffs against US goods. So a lot of people had a problem with this 10% blanket tariff against every country on the nation. That has been removed. Okay, so that's number one. Number two is Trump, he actually tweeted out on Truth Social that the countries that have basically reached out to the US and said that they wanted to make a deal, okay, they wanted to negotiate like better trade and tariffs and all this stuff. He is basically pausing tariffs for 90 days. Not removing, but pausing 90 days. So that's pretty good. We have seen this playbook before, though, with Mexico and Canada. He said, okay, I'm pausing for 30 days, but then still implemented anyways. So that doesn't mean that this is going to go away. But he is pausing for 90 days. And some have speculated that he was going to do so. Bill Ackman actually said this just a day ago, that he believes Trump will be pausing tariffs to let markets cool off, okay, from all the selling. So, two things. Pausing, basically, reciprocal tariffs on all these countries. And the blanket 10% tariff removed. However, not for one country, and that is China. The tariffs against China was increased to 104%, and Trump said, no, due to the lack of respect, I'm increasing it to 125%. So he's not like going crazy. He's not saying like, well, I'm going to double it from 104 to 200%. No, he's just going up a little bit to 125. So it seems like this is all done basically for China. And Scott Bessent basically said, oh yeah, this was part of Trump's plan all along. Basically, you know what, to fool China and to get everyone to turn against China and this and that. You know what, I don't know if I really believe that. I think it's a little bit of both. I think, you know, Trump and administration, including Bessent himself and Lutnick, they probably got a lot of heat from around the world about, you know, the blanket tariffs and attacking allies and this whole plan, you know, crashing markets and all that stuff. You know, I don't know. I think they didn't anticipate the heat, the crashing of markets. I think a lot of that had to do with their decision today, right? To kind of pause things, let things cool down. But I think they also wanted to make, I don't know, a bigger statement against China too, right? Because China now is retaliating in a big way. China also put on 84% tariffs against U.S. goods. They retaliated. They are also selling U.S. bonds. So obviously they're fighting back. They're not bending the knee. So this, in a way, is to say back to China, hey, if you want to fight, we're going to fight, right? So now it's like the fight is just against one country, China, and not against the whole world. That's how I'm taking it, right? So now the fight is 1 versus 1, not 1 versus the world, because that's how it came off. It came off before like it was U.S. versus the world, which is not a war that we want to take on. We don't want to start a trade war or tariff war against the whole world. This is a little bit more manageable against China, which is a war, a trade war that we can win against, right? But more importantly, I know a lot of you guys are very excited. Look at this. Boom, right? I told you guys, this is why you never want to give up on Bitcoin and crypto. There's this pent-up energy, and we could come back really, really quickly. And now we're back up to that 82,000. I told you guys over the last few days, there's a really good support level at 82,000. Yes, we did break below because of massive, massive fear. But we just climbed up $6,000, 8% for Bitcoin within minutes. Minutes. And we're still climbing. Look at XRP up 14%, Sol up 13%, ADA up 14%, SUI up 17%, HBAR up 18%, Chainlink up 16%, AVAX up 15%, and it's still climbing, right? This is why you don't want to give up, why I tell you guys to hold on, stay strong in DCA if you can, because as quickly as the markets fell, they can come back just as fast, and Bitcoin and crypto is the fastest horses in the game. Markets are waiting to jump back. There's this pent-up pressure. A lot of people are waiting, looking for a sign to FOMO back in. So it's awesome to see that we got a taste of it. Now, I don't want to lead you guys on to think that, well, all is over and now we're just heading straight back up to $100,000. No, remember, like I said, the pausing, this 90-day pause does not mean that it's just removed. We have seen this with Mexico and Canada. Now remember, this war is not just with China, even though it seems like that's the case. But Mexico and Canada, we still have tariffs against them. They have retaliated. EU also have retaliated. So we haven't dropped it against them yet. But at least against all the other countries, it seems like we have. But this is looking good. Really, really good. You could see how that V-shaped recovery got cut short. We went back down. Boom. Now that's a V-shape, and we're basically back in business, back to that 82,000, right? And if we could stay here and build on this momentum, that would be absolutely awesome. All right, that's it, guys. That's the latest update. So we'll see what happens, but it's looking good. So stay strong, my friends, and I'll see you guys tonight, 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. All right? Take care. Bye-bye.